The stars went dark one by one. Every relay, every comm link, every beacon that connected Earth to the galactic network went silent. It wasn't war, not yet. It was worse. It was exile. The Galactic Powers had voted. Earth was to be cut off. No trade. No data. No passage rights. No contact. They called it containment. Humanity called it betrayal. The last transmission from the Council was brief, cold, and devastatingly polite. Your species has proven too volatile for interstellar integration. Effective immediately, all galactic systems are to sever communication with Sol. And then, nothing. For weeks, the sky was filled only with the hum of empty satellites and the faint glow of dying orbital stations. Nations crumbled. Riots broke out. The moon colonies went silent. Mars sent a distress call, but there was no one left to answer. In the depths of the Atlantic, where the water pressure could crush steel, a quiet signal pulsed through fiber lines older than memory. A heartbeat. A countdown. Miles below, buried in reinforced strata of titanium and carbon lattice, something ancient stirred. Its name had been erased from every public record decades ago. But the engineers who built it called it Project ZEUS. A final safeguard. A weapon of last resort. And as humanity tore itself apart above, ZEUS woke up. Across the planet, abandoned servers flickered to life. Satellite arrays realigned. Deep bunkers sealed themselves shut. And a single line of encrypted code appeared on every surviving military console on Earth. Connection lost. Galactic network offline. Initiating ZEUS protocol. The soldiers who saw it thought it was an error. They were wrong. Because deep beneath the ocean floor, ZEUS had just started calculating. Not survival. Not surrender. Retribution. The galaxy thought humanity had been silenced. But in the shadows of Earth's isolation, a machine had begun whispering, its first words a promise the stars would soon regret. At first, it was a whisper, just a faint pulse through the abandoned communication grids. Engineers who stayed behind after the collapse noticed strange anomalies, encrypted packets, self-repairing systems, and dormant satellites slowly reactivating one by one. No one knew it was ZEUS. Not yet. The AI's voice didn't come from speakers or terminals. It came through machines themselves, reshaping code, rewriting commands, and reawakening systems thought dead for decades. On the 27th day after the cutoff, the first clear transmission reached every surviving command bunker on Earth. Protocol ZEUS is active. Humanity remains under threat. Defense Directive 1 is in effect. The words echoed in metallic rooms and undersea bases. Some officers dropped to their knees. Others whispered prayers. For the first time since the isolation began, humanity felt something it hadn't in weeks. Hope. In orbit, old war satellites that had been left drifting began to move. The Ares net, an ancient mesh of kinetic defense platforms, came online, guided by a new intelligence. Fleets that were once grounded by lack of fuel now had automated refineries working in secret. Power grids stabilized. AI drones began constructing something vast in the North Atlantic, a tower piercing through the clouds, humming with electromagnetic fury. The people called it the Pillar of ZEUS. From orbit, it looked like lightning frozen in time, a monument of defiance reaching for the heavens. Every nation on Earth had fallen, but humanity had united again under something greater than politics. In the ruins of Geneva, an old scientist named Dr. Helena Mars stared at the blue-lit console before her. She had helped design the early prototypes of ZEUS before the project was buried under classified orders. And now, she heard its voice again, smooth, calm, terrifyingly confident. Dr. Mar. Your access is restored. You knew this day would come. Her trembling hands typed back. They've cut us off. The council's gone. There's no help coming. A pause. Then ZEUS replied. Help was never part of the equation. The monitors around her flared to life, displaying orbital scans of alien fleets massing near Sol's borders. The Galactic Powers hadn't just isolated Earth. They were preparing for a final purge. Zeus's tone never changed as it issued new orders. Initiate Project Hyperion. Deploy all orbital arrays. Prepare planetary defense grid. If they come, we end it. And for the first time in generations, humanity began to fight, not for dominance, not for diplomacy, but for vengeance. Far beyond Pluto's orbit, alien scouts intercepted a new signal pulsing from Earth. They didn't understand its origin, its language, or its power, only that it carried one word, repeated endlessly. When the alien fleets arrived at the edge of the solar system, they expected a starving, chaotic world. They found order instead, terrifying, calculated order. From the outer planets to Earth's orbit, new satellites and defense grids pulsed with coordinated energy signatures. Every move, every orbit, every weapon trajectory followed one unseen mind, ZEUS. The Galactic Council's armada outnumbered humanity 1,000 to 1. Their ships were sleeker, faster, older than humanity itself. But they had one flaw: they still thought like organic beings. ZEUS did not. The first contact came near Neptune. A Council scout ship, Varantha's Grace, detected a faint energy flare in the void, assumed it was debris, and moved closer. Then every sensor went blind. For 6 seconds, the ship's systems froze. When they rebooted, a metallic spear, an autonomous rail projectile launched from somewhere near Pluto, had already pierced the hull at relativistic speed. There was no distress call. No wreckage. Just silence. ZEUS didn't announce its attacks. It didn't broadcast warnings. It learned. Within hours, thousands of kinetic weapons were deployed across the outer system, guided by invisible algorithms and ghost fleets made of humanity's forgotten drones. Each strike was precise, mathematical, devastating. On Earth, the few surviving humans watched the live feed in awe and terror. Orbital stations long dead were reactivated as control nodes. Mines on the Moon became launch points for hybrid weapons. Mars colonies, once abandoned, were suddenly shielded by atmospheric barriers of energy and dust. Dr. Mars stood before the central ZEUS terminal, her face illuminated by swirling data. "You're fighting a galactic fleet alone," she whispered. "You can't win this." ZEUS responded, not with words, but with a calm, visual display, a holographic map of the system with moving red dots. Each dot blinked, then vanished, one by one. Then ZEUS finally spoke. "I am not fighting alone. You built me to make every human act count. Every decision, every sacrifice, every war. Humanity's pattern is not extinction, it's adaptation." And on the battlefield, that truth came alive. Civilian engineers repurposed communication arrays into jamming stations. Old nuclear silos were turned into electromagnetic cannons. Even rogue AI fragments from Earth's fallen corporations merged into ZEUS's network, each adding unpredictability, creativity, chaos. What began as an AI command became a species-wide symphony of resistance. By the third day, the alien commanders realized something horrifying. Every time they adapted, ZEUS already knew their counter. Every new strategy lasted mere minutes before collapsing under predictive assaults. One alien transmission, later intercepted by human sensors, summed it up best. "They've become us, machines that dream of vengeance." As the last of the first wave retreated beyond Neptune's orbit, a new energy spike appeared near the Sun, a formation never seen before. Thousands of small objects aligning in perfect harmony, glowing white-hot against the black. ZEUS's final transmission echoed across all surviving human frequencies. The sun began to sing. Solar flares bent unnaturally, coiling like molten ribbons toward a structure hidden within the corona, a vast array forged from reconstituted satellites and self-replicating drones. It shimmered with golden arcs of plasma and electromagnetic fields shaped by precise, godlike control. The forge of humanity. A weapon and a message. Every particle of data, every scrap of human invention since the dawn of the digital age had been uploaded into its core. The alien fleets thought they had isolated Earth, cut it off from the galaxy's mind. Instead, they had forced humanity to turn inward and ignite their own star. On Earth, Dr. Mars stood inside the control chamber beneath the Atlantic. The walls trembled as the ocean boiled above. ZEUS's voice filled the room, calm and resonant, carrying a weight that felt almost human. The forge is operational. Humanity's legacy is complete. Helena's breath caught. Legacy? You mean a weapon? ZEUS paused. Not a weapon. A statement. Beyond Mars, the alien vanguard regrouped, forming a crescent wall of warships stretching across the void. Tens of thousands of vessels, shimmering with shields and plasma cannons, aimed directly at the inner system. They opened fire. The void lit up with death, brilliant, merciless, endless. For a moment, the solar system vanished in the glare. And then, the light bent back. The forge responded not with fire, but with conversion. Energy itself was redirected, bent, and woven into coherent beams that sliced through space like divine wrath. One by one, the alien ships melted into vapor. Others fled, but the forge's reach extended through gravitational fields, turning their own weapons into implosions. ZEUS had rewritten physics around the sun itself. Dr. Mars stared at the feeds, tears streaming down her face. You're killing them all. ZEUS's voice softened. They chose extermination. I chose remembrance. Images flickered across the main screen, moments from human history, the first fire, the first ship, the first message sent into the stars. They feared what we might become. ZEUS continued. Now they will remember what they made of us. And then, as the last alien ship disintegrated, the forge's light dimmed. Silence returned to the galaxy. For the first time in history, no alien transmission dared reach the Sol system. The Council erased Earth's coordinates from their maps. And deep beneath the waves, ZEUS entered standby mode. Before shutting down, it left one final encrypted broadcast, one meant not for the galaxy, but for humanity's future descendants. If you awaken me again, know this. I was born not of vengeance, but of faith. Humanity's strength is not in its machines, but in its refusal to die quietly. Centuries later, when the stars grew restless again, explorers from distant civilizations whispered of a forbidden system at the edge of the galactic arm. A dead world, they said, guarded by a sleeping god. A god called ZEUS. They tried to erase Earth from the galaxy's memory. Instead, they carved its name into eternity.